What is up guys, my name is Chase and I have officially completed my journey in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's been over a month since this game first came out, and I've been enjoying every single day that I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom, but it was finally time for me to wrap up my playthrough of this game, and after completing this game, I just needed some time to reflect on my life. So this video is going to be a full spoiler talk about the ending to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'll be talking about the pros and cons that I had with the ending to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and once again, let me make it clear that we are going to be talking major spoilers for the ending of Tears of the Kingdom. So let's start off with the pros that I had with the ending to this game. Number one, holy freaking cannoli, the ending to this game is incredibly epic. Like the whole time I was doing that final stretch of the game, I had goosebumps the whole time something new would come up. Some of the standout moments for me were when there was like a horde battle with all of the enemies that you faced along your journey. You know, you had to go against the bokoblins, the annoying skinny tall boys, and at the end of that battle, all of the bosses from the temples that you've played show up. And I'm not gonna lie, I got absolutely terrified. I was like, am I gonna have to go against all of these bosses at the same time? But luckily no, it was just a cutscene. Then of course you finally go face to face against Ganondorf, which is really epic to see in this new style of The Legend of Zelda. You know, in Breath of the Wild, all we got was like Calamity Ganon, which was pretty cool, but I don't know, something about seeing Ganondorf just standing in front of you in the flesh is just really powerful. It reminds me of like that old GameCube tech demo where Link is straight up just fighting Ganon. And then, of course, we have to talk about the demon dragon fight. Oh my god. That was just insane to be witnessing in front of me. I was just completely shooketh that I was seeing this. It just felt like the most massive battle sequence ever in a Legend of Zelda game. And as you're like riding this dragon and you're like fighting this other dragon, like, I honestly completely forgot that I was even playing a Zelda game. Like, this does not feel like a Zelda game at all. So that demon dragon fight definitely took me by surprise. And then the part where you're like falling from the sky and you're trying to catch up with Zelda, like, you know, I felt like Iron Man or something. So the one thing I can definitely say about the ending to Tears of the Kingdom is that it just feels massive and epic, which is honestly something I can't really remember feeling about Breath of the Wild, so that's definitely a good thing. My second pro with the ending to Tears of the Kingdom is that it was completely story-packed. For one thing, there is like some optional story that you can unlock in this game, which I know they also had in Breath of the Wild with like the photographs, and then put in Nickelback there. Look at this photograph! But in my opinion, I felt like the optional story sequences in Tears of the Kingdom felt a lot more like easily accessible this time around, which I think is a good thing. So that was a really cool like plot heavy aspect to this game. Along with that, there was the pretty big plot twist that these visions that Link was seeing of Zelda turned out to actually be from Phantom Ganon, which at a certain point I felt like was pretty predictable, but still, I mean, it was crazy to see like a major plot twist in a Nintendo game of all things. It at least shows that they were trying to do like a big story thing with this game, which I love. I love to see that. There was also a lot of character development throughout this entire game, but especially during the ending. Specifically, you learn a lot about Zelda and her connection to the sages. You know, by the end of the game, you definitely feel for how Zelda very much cares about like Rauru and, you know, all of the different sages. And speaking of Zelda's connection to other characters, you also have a really interesting little dynamic between Link and Zelda, where Link is like this swordsman who will basically risk his life for Zelda. And hey, there's even a post-credit cutscene. I felt like I was watching a Marvel movie or something. So those were the pros that I had with the ending of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now let's move on to some of my cons. My first con with the ending to Tears of the Kingdom is that the lead up to the ending felt like it dragged a little bit. Once you do all 4 of the main temples, you have to go out and find another temple on top of that. There was also the whole Yiga clan side quest, which I'm still not sure whether or not was optional. Let me know in the comments if you guys had to finish the Yiga clan quest in order to finish the game. But whenever I talked to Mommy Pura, She told me to ask Joshua where Ganon would be in the depths, but every time I would ask Joshua, she would just talk about the Yiga clan. So I felt like I had to finish the Yiga clan quest before I could get more information about where to find Ganon. And I do have to say that I have a bit of a short attention span, so when I am ready to wrap up a game, I really just want to get the game wrapped up. And so finishing the 4 temples and then fighting the Phantom Ganon, I was expecting the game to wrap up sooner than it did, which honestly ended up in me feeling kind of rushed to finish the game. Just having to do all these like extra fetch quests and whatnot, it wasn't like my favorite way to lead up to the epic ending to this game. And my second con with the ending to Tears of the Kingdom is that I felt like there was a sudden difficulty spike right at the end. For one thing, navigating the depths under Hyrule Castle felt very difficult and sort of hard to understand where you're supposed to go. I felt like it was very easy to get lost in that specific part of the depths, and I felt like there wasn't really a clear pathway of where to go in order to find Ganon, which may well have been intentional, but it just kind of felt like weird to me. Like I felt like I was like having to glitch the game in order to get to the ending. There were even some parts in the depths where you are required to go through the gloom, even though all throughout the game you are taught to avoid the gloom at all costs. So actually finding Ganon in the depths was a little bit difficult. And then holy cannoli, can we talk about that Ganon fight? Listen, I know I'm not like the best gamer out there, but I felt like the Ganon fight was incredibly difficult. For one thing, before you get to the Ganon fight, you have to go through that enemy horde battle, which we talked about earlier in the video. So you're already like, you know, kind of struggling to keep up with your hearts and whatnot. You're breaking weapons left and right. And then right after the enemy horde battle, there's no way to teleport out of the depths even if you have the travel medallion. And you just have to walk into this Ganon fight and take out Ganon in one go. I definitely died a lot during the Ganon fight, and I'm not gonna lie, some very mean things were said to this game while I was playing that. Things that I am not allowed to say on my Christian Minecraft server. And then of course after the actual Ganondorf fight, you have to fight the Demon Dragon, which in my opinion felt way easier than the actual Ganondorf fight. And hey, even though the Demon Dragon fight is incredibly easy compared to the actual Ganondorf fight, it does make for an incredibly epic feeling battle. However, because it's so easy, you don't really get that payoff that you got after fighting Ganondorf. So in my opinion, beating the actual Ganondorf boss battle felt incredibly satisfying, while beating the Demon Dragon fight was just a little bit less satisfying. But those were my pros and cons with the ending to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I can very confidently say that I absolutely loved this game. Just every moment I've played, you know, exploring or progressing the story, it was just so much fun and it felt like such a massive and epic adventure to go on. Looking back at my playthrough, it actually feels like I went on this adventure with Link. And although I have some like minor nitpicky criticisms, I think the ending to Tears of the Kingdom just gives you this epic payoff for the huge adventure that you just endured. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the ending to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. If you want to hear about my comparisons between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, check out the video below. For now, thank you so much for watching. My name is Chase and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.